Let's debate. You want to debate? Yeah.
We can debate.
Okay.
Cal wrote down a lot of notes here, so I'm actually kind of terrified.
I wrote down no notes for this part of it.
Oh, good. Okay, so guys, let me explain to you the great debate. Okay? Cal and I pick a topic, and then we pick a side. And then we put on our lawyer hats, and we debate to the death. And then we have a poll on Instagram that you guys can vote on to see who won the debate. Now, it gets a little heated, It's a little fierce.
We act as public defenders.
Yes.
We take our role very seriously.
Yes.
And what some people seem to not understand is a lot of the time we may actually agree on the point.
A lot of times, actually.
But we do this to bring up the pros and cons of every situation so that you can get a real feel for why people might feel a different way.
And honestly, we just love arguing with each other.
Yeah, and it's fun.
It is fun for us. Not only do we like to argue with our wives, which we don't, but we also love to argue with our hunting wives. And so,
yes,
hence the great debate. Carter, what's the debate on this week?
This week's debate is water swatting versus not water swatting.
All right, let's do the debate. And this week, I'm going to let you go first, dude. Unless you want me to go first, which I'm willing to do.
No, you should go first.
Okay.
So, you're for water swatting, right?
Oh, yeah, big time.
Cool. So, I'm against it.
Okay. Yes.
Tell me what's so good about water swatting, okay?
All right. Look, here's the thing. All right.
Wrong. I love that.
As a hunter and conservationist, right, the goal out there is to fool waterfowl to get a very clean kill shot, correct? Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah.
And one of the things that I think is the most satisfying, that makes you work the hardest when you're out there to be a great waterfowl hunter, is the idea that you're able to convince a bird who's thinking they're going somewhere else to come to where you are, specifically landing that bird on the water. If you can land a bird on the water in your decoys, that is the ultimate level of fooling that bird. Right? Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Because that means that they were so comfortable with the calling, the setup, the hide, all that stuff, that they're willing to land in your spread. There's a lot of people, they like to, they shoot. A lot of people pass shoot, right? So they get birds, they hunt off a point, whatever the situation, but they're shooting birds at 30 yards. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you feel you're able to be consistent, have a clean kill shot at 20, 30 yards, and you don't feel like you're landing, you're going to land those birds, then whatever, that's fine. But to get a bird to land in your spread, now they're on the water, now they're not moving. So if I'm thinking from a conservation standpoint, trying to be as effective as possible at killing a bird immediately, not winging a bird, not just damaging a bird, but actually getting that bird in hand so that we can use its meat, then water swatting is absolutely the best way to do that. It's 100%. If you miss the bird on the water, that's bad. That's not good. Mm-hmm. So I guess those are some of my main points about why I think that a water swat is completely fine. I don't actually understand that much why people don't like it, that you shoot a bird on the water, and people think it's not sporting. It's not. You have to be able to shoot the bird in the air. Right. Well, I already convinced the bird to come all the way here. The bird's all the way here. That was the whole point of why we did this. I can't imagine if the first people that ever went duck hunting, a bird landed on the water, like, no, bud, you have to shoot it when they're in the air. No, they're probably like, we're out here to shoot birds. This bird is right in front of me, sitting on the water, not even moving. This is a great shot. That's why I think water swatting is totally fine.
Sure.
Yeah. Hit me with it. Tell me why you think you shouldn't be able to shoot a bird in the water. You shouldn't shoot a bird in the water.
Well, you kind of said it a couple of times, but
I said it?
Yeah. As to why it shouldn't is because it's not sporting. And so it's almost like shooting fish in a barrel. It's just fishing with dynamite. It's like whatever. But it's not only just that point where it's just like you're going out to kill. You're going out to kill. It's the point of what's the average distance of a water swat for most people that you've seen hunting is when birds land short of your spread. And so a lot of people are taking a 40-plus yard shot on the water where they say, I can hit it, And so at that point, you're not going for meat, you're going for kill shots. And what you're doing with that is you're wounding the bird, and it's getting to the point where your dog can't retrieve it, and you go out there with your boat, if you even have a boat, and you're chasing this diving waterfowl, and now at that point, it is suffering the entire time.
Do you
it's
think
scared shitless?
You think you're more accurate? Do you think people are more accurate shooting a bird at 40 yards on the water or 30 yards in the air flying by you?
Just based on distance, 30 yards.
But we both know it's just not true.
Well, I think it depends on species and wind and all that stuff, but I feel like a lot of people have proven that they are better at shooting something in the air because that's what everyone shoots at. Is, let's just say the majority of birds that you're shooting at are flying, And so when you come to a stationary bird, there's less area of the bird that you can hit. You essentially have this much of the back over the water. Let's just say on a big bird, 2 inches, right? And so you are aiming for this tiny little
more
stick.
than that, but yeah.
I mean, at range.
Sure.
Right? At 30, 40 yards on the water. And this is coming from someone who has water swatted quite a bit. It just doesn't feel right. And so, if you think about it in perspective, a bird flying, you have a much better area to hit this bird.
It's not true. It's not true.
What do you mean it's not true?
It's not true, bro. It would be easier to shoot a bird that's not moving, that's sitting on the water at 40 yards, than it would be to shoot a bird traveling at 25 miles an hour, flying by you in the air, judging wind. It's just not true.
I think it is true just because of body mass.
Because your point to them being at... No, go ahead.
Because I have... Let's just say it's a goose, right? And on the last debate, we talked about they have a 6-foot wings or a 5-foot wingspan on average, right? So if I have a couple pellets hit its wings, it will go down. If I have a couple pellets hit its chest, it will probably go down. If I have a couple pellets hit anywhere of this giant body, it's most likely going to go down. In probability's sake, right? I have 200.
Range, yeah.
I have 200 pellets coming out of my gun, and I have a 5.5 foot by 3 foot area to shoot this bird. I can almost guarantee you more pellets are going to hit that bird than a bird that has 2 to 4 inches sticking out of the water for its main body, and then a tiny little section for its head and neck sticking out.
I think what you got to realize, though, is your point is that you have less area to shoot because the bird is at 40 yards in the water. But if a bird is at 40 yards in the air, it's not like you still have the same amount as you do at 10 yards. It's still further away. Now you're judging wind. You're
still judging wind on the water.
Yeah, but not as much. I mean,
is the wind that much difference
Joey,
at 10 to 20 yards
They're
above the ground?
They're flying, bro. So you're judging wind and the bird moving. That's more to take into account than just, we got a strong left to right, but this bird's sitting on the water in front of me.
But how many times have you seen someone water swat a bird and pellets go all around it? You can see the shot spread going at the bird, and the bird is still swimming just fine. How many times?
Swimming.
But
I can tell you this. I see a bird fly away way less when people water swat it than I do when people are shooting a bird at 30 yards flying by you.
Are we sticking with 30 yards? Is that what we're doing?
No. What do you want to say? 40 yards?
No, I'm just saying, are we sticking with 30? Because obviously if it's within 15 yards, anyone should be able to kill that bird.
On the water.
But if we're talking about 30 yards in the air and on the water, you have a much smaller target on the water versus than you do in the air.
At 30 yards on the water versus 30 yards in the air, I guarantee you, if you lined up 100 hunters and you said, make this kill shot right now, same wind conditions, same weather conditions, whatever, a bird at 30 yards on the water versus a bird 30 yards in the air flying by you, I guarantee you that people would be way more lethal with the bird on the water.
I don't agree. Just because I've seen it so many times.
You've seen people.
I've seen it and I've done it.
You've seen more people miss birds flying by at 30 yards in the air than you ever have seen birds leave that were 30 yards on the water.
Well, I mean,
think about it.
Naturally, there's more birds in the air than there are sitting on the water. So if we're talking statistically of what I've seen more of, then yes, you would be correct. But the amount of water swatting that I've seen that didn't end up where the bird still got up off the water and it was probably wounded and it didn't die right away. That's for sure.
Here's a good example. Think about it like this. Annie Oakley style, right? Single shooter. You're waiting on a bird, a single goose or a single duck flying by in the air at 30 yards versus a duck comes in, lands at 30 yards, and is sitting on the water. You have a shooter with you, right? Just think about anybody that you hunt with. I'm not talking about like the greatest hunter you've ever hunted with. I'm talking about like an everyday hunter. Are you telling me you really are more comfortable with the idea that that bird is going to die if that bird is shot in the air versus shot in the water?
I think it's more ethical, and I think it's more of a probability that it's going to die out of the air. If they're like, okay, let's get more specific. Your shot pattern is on point for the bird in the air and the bird in the water, right?
Yep.
It is more likely that you're going to kill the bird in the air than the bird on the water just because of pure circumference or an area that you could hit of the bird.
I just don't agree with that.
You don't agree with bigger target?
I don't agree. I don't agree with you that people that have a shot on a bird 30 yards in the air are more lethal than people with a shot at 30 yards on the water. Because what you're talking about is just aiming. You're just saying like, well, you can aim, better and then more BB coverage because it's in the air.
No, I'm saying the bird, like you have a bigger target to shoot at. You have a bigger target to shoot at.
Yeah, but you have so many more factors. You have to judge distance that you're leading the bird. No, it's not. You're not leading a bird that's sitting on the water.
If you have wind, yeah, you have to account for the wind.
Very little at 30 yards. Sitting on the water, very little. And that's the thing. It's like, right, like if you're picking out that you get to shoot a bird sitting on the water, well, then you're going to aim for the upper half of their chest / their head.
Their upper chest isn't visible.
I'm saying like the forward part of their body. Like chest, upper back, head area, that is the zone you're shooting at on a bird that's sitting on the water. A lot of people that are shooting at a bird in the air, you're tracking, you're leading, you're judging wind. There's way more factors when you're shooting in the air.
We're not going to agree on this. That's fine. But I think that more body mass, the better, which on water would not be good. And then also the sporting aspect of it is if you go out and kill any animal at 2 feet, it's not very sporting of you. But if you call in that bird and you get it to do what you want it to do and you take it before it gets to that point, that's ethical. But if you let a huge flock of birds land and you let it build and build and build and build, let's just say Canada geese, for example. If you let 100 geese sit on the water in your decoys for 10 minutes and then you line up people and you say fire, it's just like, cool, you shot a bunch of geese sitting on the water. That's not really that hard.
Do you think that people would be more... You think that people would be more effective shooting a clay target that's sitting on a ledge 30 yards away, not moving? Or do you think that people will be more effective shooting a clay that's traveling in the air by them
I think
at 30 yards?
You're confused on my argument here. We're talking about what is sporting versus what is effective.
Well, you just said a minute ago you think that it's more effective to shoot the bird in the air because you have more mass.
Right, and then I brought it back to sporting. And so my thing is, like I said, we're not going to agree on effectiveness just because you don't agree with more bird to shoot is better. And so that's fine.
I never said that. Of course, more bird to shoot anywhere is always better.
So the air is better.
But I think that that people's effectiveness at shooting a non-moving target far, far, far outweighs the ability to be lethal on a bird that's moving, flying in the air.
Yeah, sure. If the bird was suspended in air above the water and it had the same circumference of body mass above the water, then yeah, it would be more effective.
No.
But when you have water, you're looking at the toughest part of their body.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Their head?
You
pretty
have
effective.
the back, and you have this much of their head sticking out, depending on the bird.
The whole head's out of the water, bud.
Right.
On
But
every
it's
bird. What do
very
you mean
small. All these pellets coming out of a shotgun shell and out of a choke, it throws out a pattern. It's not one singular bullet shooting at that bird.
I think the whole point is that you don't want to be crippling birds, you know? So the more opportunity you have to not cripple birds, the better, which is why water swatting is a great, effective way to reach your limit.
I mean, if that's what the debate was about, then yeah.
Well,
But
the
I don't
debate
think
is
so.
it okay to water swat or not?
No, I don't think it's very sporting. I
I
don't think
think-
that's
I think
how it's
it's-
intended, because it is a wing shooting sport. You shoot it on the wing. It's
You want to
in
shoot the bird
air.
on the... I don't try to shoot birds
No,
on the wing.
It's a phrase, bud.
I know what it is.
Wing shooting. You shoot them on the wing as they're flying. You know, that's
Or is it
what
just-
waterfowl hunting is about. Is about the sport.
Or is it called wing shooting because you're shooting an animal with wings?
Carter, can you look that up?
I don't think turkey hunting is wing shooting.
Correct. They don't call it wing shooting. They call pheasant hunting wing shooting.
Yep, because it's flying.
That's correct. Wings. A flight bird.
Well, turkeys fly too. You know.
Turkeys fly too.
Well, they
Oh.
Oh, do they? Do they fly down out of a tree?
and fly up into
No,
the
they
tree
can.
too,
They can
Yeah.
fly for a decent
and
distance.
they fly away from you when.
Sure. A little bit.
Maybe you should go chicken shooting.
Chicken shooting, yeah.
Yeah. No, you should
Yeah.
go shoot chickens.
I
You know,
guess,
if you're
if
going
I was,
for the bloodthirsty.
if I
part
was
of it.
shooting chickens, I guess I'd rather shoot them while they were not moving on the ground, versus flying away from me in the air.
Yeah, and I think you need every advantage you can get. And so you take it, bud.
You got to
But
go,
in the
whatever
meantime-
helps you sleep at night.
No, I'm going to do what my grandfather and his grandfather did, which is wing shooting, and which is how you're supposed to do it, which is shooting birds in the air.
Let the boy watch.
Let
You must
the
learn
boy watch.
How I learned from my father.
See, my
He learned
grandfather
from his
was
father.
my grandfather was beating me as he watched his grandfather shoot ducks, and that's what happened.
Damn.
He said, "Let the boy watch," and then my great granddaddy
Shot him on the water.
shot him on the water, and he slapped me.
The definition of wing shooting, by the way,
Yeah.
is the shooting of birds in flight.
There you go.
Ooh,
So I was right.
I don't,
what?
I don't
dude?
remember.
Yeah.
Dude, come on.
Shooting a flight bird. A bird that flies.
Bird in flight.
In flight.
You don't want to shoot him on the wings, though.
Wing shooting is shooting a bird in flight, in the process of flying.
Water shooting.
Okay.
Water
Okay.
swatting.
Are you good?
I'm good.
Okay. Guys, please vote on this and help me out. Help Cal understand that he is wrong on this great debate. This is ridiculous.
That was a tough ending. Yeah.
That was a tough ending.
Not really. It's fine.
Statistics, bud. You're all about the statistics. Definitions.
If you want to be an
statistics.
ethical hunter that's not crippling birds, and your goal is to just take a bird as ethically as possible, a bird sitting on the water not moving is a better shot for you than a bird flying by you in the air with wind. It is. It just is.
Speaking from someone who has shot a lot of birds on the
Same.
water, right? We both have.
Yep.
It's not the first shot that kills the bird. It's the second shot that kills the bird. It's when they get up in the air that kills them.
That's not true. If you shoot him in the head on the water, they're dead.
Yeah, if I can figure out what BB is going to go where, and I can put my shotgun barrel in that matter,
Matto. In that
then,
battle?
then yes, I would kill a lot more birds in the water.
Guys, go and vote because you need to understand that it is a very ethical way to shoot a duck is to know that if it's not moving on the water, you're going to kill it. How many times do you see birds fly away that you tried to shoot on the water? Not that often.
And how many birds
Fly away after you shot them in the air? A lot.
No, dude. A lot of birds don't die on the water. And that's okay. And
We're not going to agree on this.
And Cal just needs to come to the realization that he's wrong.
That's not true.
And that's okay. Now, I like to follow tradition, and he doesn't, and that's okay. He's a new school kind of hunter. He's a TikTok hunter.
This is
and
actually
that's
funny.
Fine.
That's funny.
But I was brought up in the old ways by the old heads of hunting, and so I have a little bit of tradition. Cal doesn't. He's trying to make his own tradition, and that's fine. You're a leader. You're a leader, not a follower.
I would say I'm more of a romantic about duck hunting than you are.
Not today.
Oh, just for today. All right. That's fine. Not going to agree.
Thank you guys for listening to the great debate.
Yeah.